consultative meeting with civil society organizations and media representatives. We work based on consultation. We don't just assume that we know everything. Our project is funded by African Women Development Fund, AWDF. We have a series of activities for women, girls, police, media, CSOs. But our major activity is around working with survivors of sexual and gender-based violence. To also see how Abia State government is partnering with CSOs to respond to sexual and gender-based violence. Between now and December, we are going to have 2 trainings for young women, survivors of sexual and gender-based violence. But what we did on Wednesday was have a workshop with them here. We had about 30 young women who talked to us about their challenges and the things that they face as women. And so we felt that it's important that we have this conversation with civil society organizations and media so that we realize there's work for us to do in case that we are lukewarm. And then the things that we are doing already, how can we bring it together and have coordinated approach to a response? We know that every society, women suffer sexual and gender-based violence, and men also suffer violence. But we know from research that more women suffer abuse, and we're interested in knowing how Abia State government is working with civil society organizations, or how civil society organizations are working collaboratively, with Abia State government to see that there's a reduction in cases of sexual and gender-based violence. I live in Lagos, and in Lagos we have what we call the Domestic and Sexual Response, the Domestic and Sexual Response Agency. It used to be just an ordinary platform, but now it has become a huge agency, almost like a ministry. And so in Lagos, it is not business as usual for people who abuse women. But anytime I step into Abia State, I can feel that abuse of women it's there. From patriarchy, from the way women are treated, from the way men speak to women, it breaks my heart. And initially I didn't know there's any NGO in Abia State. I'm like, are there NGOs here? What's going on? All forms of abuse, from the Okada rider you enter to the office you are going to, there's total disregard for women. And I'm asking myself, what are we doing as civil society organizations? And when we called those 30 young people, those 30 people, I didn't expect to hear what I heard. It was traumatic for me, to hear what I heard in this hall. The number of cries that we cried in this hall. And all those things are happening to us, either from our mothers, who expect us to go and marry because other people have gotten married, or from senior brothers who think that we are their punching bag, to boyfriends who impregnate people and run away, to people who promise people marriage or whatever they promise them, they turn to abusers, or women who are in marriage, who are being tortured in the name of marriage. One particular woman, they have broken her spinal cord, the husband, Some people are taken and put in a place and raped. And then they become pregnant, they become outcasts in the society. Their own parents abuse them, knowing that I was raped. It's not my fault, I'm suffering the pain of abuse of my body. Then at home, I also don't have peace. Those are some of the stories that I heard on Wednesday, that really broke my heart. Like, it's as if I should pack all the men and put inside prison immediately, But again, we have civil society organizations in Abia State. How are we handling cases when it comes to us? Are we still doing touch and go? But there are somebody in the nap tip and that's it, you go to bed. Or but I in the window. I'm on the window. I about her to workshop, and then we finish it like that. A girl was raped. I get police. I think I get to learn our community, and then we go home. You see, if we keep doing it like that, if we keep treating issues like this, violence and sexual violence and all other forms of abuse that women face, they will not go away. It won't go away. So somebody to say I am a civil society somebody, to introduce myself as a civil society somebody, I must make an impact there must be an impact. It's not just to register. Anyway, and NGO. As an on an NGO, and then we register it and we go to bed. And young people are suffering. Women are suffering. We are too afraid to speak up. Before I listened to those young women on Wednesday, I first of all asked them, gave them a little training around gender-based violence. What is gender-based violence? Violence that happens more to women simply because of who they are. It's not violence. Violence happens to men and women. But when we define it as gender-based violence, as a result of unequal power relations, that means in any relationship, one person has more power than the other. That's why it's called gender-based violence. There's power, more power here than there's power here. That's why it can happen. That's why you see many times the husbands are not. You even find a woman who can beat the husband, but she will be saying, happen, but she can beat that man if you leave her. But if she beats that man, what would society say? That's unequal power relations, because society sees men as in the organ, and women are the subjects. So you see most times that women are the ones that are on the receiving side of abuse. Some women also, we are terrible when it comes to emotional violence to men and boys. You know, we also treat them badly. We say nasty things. We make them lose their self-worth by comparing them to other men and tell them they are, I would have, how come I'm able to ruler now? You know, things like that. I'm wasting my time with you, all kinds of things. So it's two ways. Emotional violence is women and men, you know, doing harm to themselves. There was a particular girl that accused one boy that the boy raped her. And then the boy's picture was all over social media, and the boy did not rape her, and that boy committed suicide. You know, so the girl did not touch him, but him seeing himself all over social media, that is, you know, it made him take his life. There are many things that we do, you know, that we kill people without knowing it. You know, some things that we say, but we have not. That's why some children, when you want to flog them, when you're talking to them, they will prefer that you flog them and shut up. I've seen children in Lagos. I said, beat me, you know, beat me, let me have peace, than continuous nagging and talking, you know. So it's a form of violence from men and women. Then the sexual violence, like that yesterday was like maybe 60% of our, no, not yesterday, Wednesday, it was like 60% of our participants have suffered one form of sexual violence or the other. That one is so rampant, to the point that human beings are taking their children to go and locate maybe older men to marry them because of money, or traffic children, or other people are collecting other people's children to traffic, all kinds of things. It's very rampant. At times I ask myself, are we still human beings? You know, are we humans? Some of the things that I hear and see. I was on a flight one time and I saw three beautiful girls. They were going to Oman. They haven't been there before. 3 of them are 18. They do not know where they are going. One was frightened, so she was sitting near me. I felt that she's uncomfortable. I said, how are you? She said, fine. I said, where are you going to? She said, she's going to Oman. I haven't been to Oman myself. I said, Oman. I said, what's happening there? She said, she's going there to work. Then that person that brought her to airport was now calling her that, don't, you know, mind your business. So when you reach there, and when you reach that place, enter toilet, change to so clothes, so that person will know that you are the one. The person she's going to meet does not know her. So she's going to get off the flight, go to toilet and wear white and white. That's what he told her to wear. And then that person will pick her up. And then she dropped the call. I said, who was that? Yeah, I said, she's from Anam, Enugu. She said it's her master. I said, who is your master? He said, it's the person that is taking her to Oman. I said, is your mom aware that you're going to Oman? He said, he told the mom that he's going to work. And that's how she now connected to two other girls. The other girls, me too, I'm going to Oman, you know. The other one is her boyfriend that sold her to go to that place. The other one is an imam that prays for them in the mosque, that deceived the mother, that let her go abroad. That's how these 3 girls were going to Oman to go and do what? You know, to go and do what? So when we got down, this particular one, because the other 2 were very unfriendly, they didn't want me to talk to them. I sent a message to my friends that do work with NAPTIP that this is my experience, but they wouldn't mention their name. They had already educated them on how to stay away from people. And this is just one flight, 3 girls. Another flight will go the next day. Do you know how many that will just continuously, you know? So there's a lot of work that we have to do, including NAPTIP themselves. There's a lot of work that we have to do. And when those girls, some of them manage to come back, they are broken. They are finished. But we expect them to come back into society and continue life. Who reintegrates them? How did they start life all over again? You know? So we have loads of work to do. Where I was working before, my ED used to interview our husbands to be. If you say you have seen a husband, you bring the person. My ED will interview the person. She's an American. She will interview you, say, why do you want to marry her? What do you have to offer? What are you bringing to the table? How much? What are you worth? What's your plan in the next 5, 10 years? But our own like this, we use pregnancy to trap a boy. Then you find out that the boy is not worth it. You have trapped him now, you have stayed there. A boy that cannot cater for himself, you go and use pregnancy to hold him. Some of them were crying in this workshop. I went there, the boy kicked me in my eye. He said, you don't want me and the child. The mother said, they don't. How can I go to where I'm not wanted? When you can make yourself an asset, and people will want you. And you are trying to, I'm not covering the thing, I'm not a missus. What is God going to do in that place that the woman hates you? The mother, the husband, the boy's mother does not want to see you. You and your son that you think that are trapped with somebody. If people don't like you, they don't like you. You go and make yourself something. Turn yourself into an asset. Then people will respect you. That's what we do around sexual and reproductive health and rights for young people. Then another of our work that we do is on participatory leadership. We are worried that we don't have enough women in leadership in Nigeria. And last year we won a case against Buhari, 2 years ago, against Buhari, on women's 35% affirmative action. How many of us have heard about 35% affirmative action? NGO people. Okay. Are you working on it? Anything on it? On 35%? Ma? I said, how many of us have heard about 35% affirmative action? What are you? Okay, I will come. Okay, so 2 years ago, my organization and 8 other organizations took Buhari to court because he has written a national gender policy where he says that he will give women 35% space and give men 65%. So when he was not doing it, we took him to court and we won. You know, that 35% they said they want to give to women, that they should implement it. Countries such as Senegal have kept some seats for women. In Rwanda, we have 65% women in leadership as against 35% men. How do people become leaders? By being knowledgeable. Being a leader has nothing to do with your sexuality. Now, you with a penis or vagina. Once you are intelligent and you have the knowledge, you should be a leader. That's how other countries do it. And so that was why we went to court and we won. And we are still pushing for its implementation. That's what we do, the work that we do around political participation. We also groom young women who have shown interest to be politicians. I have 4, 5 mentors, 5 young women I'm mentoring that have shown interest, they want to go into politics. So I take them along to some places that I go to, expose them to leadership and all kinds of things. 3. Then we have another one, which is research and education. On research and education, we don't just come into a community and we start work. No. We do some basic research. Like I told you on Wednesday, we have many trainings for young women, but we didn't just come and carry our load and say we want to train them. On what? What are their needs? You know, so we need to do a little needs assessment where we are hearing what they are saying, and they explain to us what they know about NAPTIP, women affairs, police, all those CPN, all those agencies that are supposed to work collaboratively to protect their rights. They tell us how far. So then when we are coming with interventions that will address their needs. As we've spoken to them now, some of them need serious counseling immediately, and we've started. Because some people said they have attempted suicide because nobody's listening to them. And they are living in Abia State. And in the morning, you see them walking. You don't know that they are trying all kinds of things. Some people hate men that, okay, one told me yesterday that they said that somebody came from America to marry her, but because of her past experience with somebody who came and tried to marry her and all the things she went through, that she's not interested right now. You know, so many people are traumatized because of what they, but if we have some form of research, then we know how to help them. Last year we got money to give to sex workers. We have sex workers that we trained. And they were like, Aunty Ngozi, I won't come up for hotel. What I won't do, you know. So we found places where they can learn a trade, choose their own trade by themselves. I want to learn how to make hair, Aunty Ngozi. I want to do nail. There's nail that they do in Lagos that start from 6,000 up. Not this 50 naira nail they do here, you know. So they go and learn it. Then when they finished learning, we paid. We went directly to where they learned it. We took them to those places, and they said, okay, it's going to cost her 150 for 6 months. We paid there because we don't want to hear story that they didn't pay. We paid ourselves, you know. And then when they finished learning 6 months later, we set them up. They started their business. Now I'm very happy. If I want to make nail now, just that I don't do nail, I won't pay. I'll go to one of my children and say, I beg, do nail for me. If I want to do makeup, I will go. If I want to braid my hair, you know. So that's how we are empowering women. We are too afraid to challenge the things that we should challenge as civil society organizations. So I said we should have this conversation. I want us to, I've shared some of the things that those young girls said. I have it printed here for media to publish. But I want us as civil society organizations, I want to hear. Some people have just introduced their organizations. I will start from me. I will say in depth what we do at Vision Spring Initiatives. I will say in depth. And I would expect every NGO here to tell me in depth what you do. And how do you work with government of Abia State? How have you worked with Abia State to ensure that violence ends? If you say you're a member of an NGO person, some of us go have grants. Some of us, I worked for 10 years before I started seeing grants. 10 good years. And I was going, my focus was on talking to young people about sexual and reproductive health and rights. And my husband and I would take our rickety car to schools and talk to young people till schools were now inviting us, come and talk, please, we need you, we need your voice. 10 good years. And I was doing the work. So civil society thing, I hope we don't think that it's either Monday now, Tuesday, any grant. No, you will work, the evidence will be there. Then you now, you can say, okay, I'm a bit okay, and then you need to solve the problem for which you are set up.
The police are telling them, oh, can we prosecute this with the police? They want their criminal code. Because as you are talking, their IPO is discussing with the suspects, yes, telling them how much it's going to provide for bail, because we need to identify these problems. Otherwise, we keep going around and around every year. We come for meeting. You call the IPO is discussing and telling them how much, and the IPO is already telling him the way out. This is how you're going to talk. It will be easier for you. You must have heard about the case of the 13-year-old girl last year who stayed with him, who was his pastor. I personally handled that for that day. And the threats, and up to today, people who threaten you, they're going to kill you and everything. But that's not the issue. You spent your money, push all those things, went to court. When the person has to be kept at the correctional center, they'll come to you and ask you for money to move this person from the court to the correctional center. Then the case begins to dance around. At a point in that case, I had to write to the DPP to take over the case because I didn't like what was happening in Aba. Now ask me, what is the status of that case? I will go and I want to know. Everybody's dancing around. And we said in cases of rape, we got to police, said it is the case of the Commissioner of Police versus so person. Then suddenly the police officer, if it's a state matter, what happens when the mother of the child or the person who is violated says, I am no longer coming forth? Which we see most times, the officers will go, look, if you just stop coming, there's nothing that human rights woman will do. And you go to the Ministry of Justice, somebody is telling you, there's nothing we can do because, so what is the VAB doing in the states? Why should I give my all to, follow a case to this point, deny myself of food to follow it to this point, and it gets to the state level, the state is doing nothing. You now see why you're talking about data, you're talking about the ministry collecting this, you're just looking at them. You have another case, you call them, you're calling them in the office, they tell you, oh, what are you going to do? I told, with due respect, I told the Honorable Commissioner 2 weeks ago, I said, they don't sit in AC offices to do GBV. No way. No. See what's happening in Anambra, see what's happening in Enugu. We need to sit, if we want to do these things, we need to sit on. So when people do it to a point, at a point people become demoralized. But for some of us, we can't stop. But it is annoying to know that you give your all, at the end of the day, because we are collaborating, we are partnering. I'm not the person handling the justice, I'm not the lawyer. When it gets to that point, I assume this because when you're talking to FIDA, okay, because when the police prosecutor takes it, you provide money, what they call it? sitting and allowances for him or her every day, okay? And there was a particular case where the woman, this time I had to even go and quarrel with her, I told them, was asking the father of the child to buy her skirts, buy her shoes. I told the man, please forward the SMS, just let me mess her up. This is not what she wants. And the man was afraid. They would take him money. At the end of the day, no matter what, even if you witness a case, even if the judge witnesses the case, it is the evidence that the police gives. This is where our problem, shelter and the police, we need to strengthen them to understand that cases are not made, they shouldn't be for money making. So as long as I don't have where I take somebody to, like those girls, I didn't see them, you're talking, you're bringing to us, let me keep them. You see girls, they cry to you. Sometimes you just give them that consolation and cancel them, get to the hospital, everything. What will happen at the end of the day? And some of them will not get to court. Like when we're talking about FIDA, because there's no money involved in some of them. That case will drag forever. So the victim gets tired and sits back. Yes. And they tell you they don't come through. So we have a fundamental problem. Thank you.
How do we get police to stop taking bribe? You will get to you will get to the point. You see me when I go to police station in Lagos, they don't collect bribe. I beg police to take money. You have to get to that the police will know you that this woman, if you give me money, I go enter cell. So when I come, I give the last case we handled before I came. One guy that they had issues and then the wife made them to deport him and they are struggling over the child. When the policewoman, I just enter police station. They say, "Who am I?" I'm a human being. My name is Ngozi. I sat down. I didn't do more than that introduction. When we finished the case, she satisfied me because she has received training. Lagos overload police with training to the point that they can't take it. Do you understand? We need to keep giving them training. Keep giving them. It's not a one-off training. Not a one-off. So when we finished the case, I went to the POS. I collected 10,000. I said, "Madam, take for lunch." She said, "No, Madam Ngozi, I'm not taking." Police don't collect money. I said, "No, it's for lunch." He said, "No." I said, "Madam, I'm giving you as Ngozi, not my organization." Before she collected it, I said, "We should go and eat together." Me and her went, I drank both, and I left. You will train police to the point that if they see bribe, they will hate it.
And you also provide for them to go.
Do you understand?
For their vehicles, for their salary.
So for now, because they are not well paid.
Yes.
For now, if I want to do anything with police now, I will sponsor it because I know they are not well paid. Those people are not well paid. You cannot tell them. They are Ogas normally tell them, take money from your pocket. But when there was a police station where I was training police in Mushi, very notorious police station. As I was training them, I was telling them, I said this bribe you people are taking, it's affecting your children. You don't know. You need to stop. One woman came to me that during the election that she followed her Oga. They gave the Oga 1 million. He said the Oga gave her 2,000. He said, "Madam, because how do you want me to be committed to this kind of work?" You understand? So it's a 3-day training. It was in the police, that their house that they built in police station. When I was coming the second day, it's the junior I'm training. As I'm coming to train them the second day, on the parade ground, he said, "Say go punish any of you when you go bring 30,000 tomorrow." So every day they give you a human rights training. Go punish anybody when you go bring 30,000 when you come out. So they send them out for targets and all kinds of. You must bring 30,000 per person in one day. So what we did now was when I came back, I told the person that engaged me, I said, "We have to change strategy because these people are training. They are not the problem. It's the Ogas that are the problem." That's why when I go to police station now, I don't talk to the recruit. I just go. I want to see the DPO or at times the DPO will send the second, which is who? IPO. What they call it? DCO. They are the one that commits on behalf of the. They will tell you they are not. Yes, they will tell you they don't know, but they know. So this particular woman, I gave 10,000 this year, but she has gone to training even outside Nigeria, and she has realized that bribe can put her in trouble. So we can't give up. If it's the only thing FIDA can do, you organize police and tell them the dangers of turning criminal cases to what they call the other one. No, changing it from criminal to civil. That is wrong. It is wrong. If it's the only thing you can do training. I don't mind. We can look for money together to do training for police. We can't stop.
I think we need that collaborative effort. It is not a one-person thing. If we put ourselves together, we can do much.
One thing that will help NGOs is to say the truth and not to try to manipulate some things, when you try to pet it, it escalates more, and you will find out that you will lose at the end. Your objectives will not be achieved. Abia State in the past years is nothing to write home about. There is no enabling environment created for NGOs to function. I can tell you that in Abia State, a boy of 4 years can tell you how to smoke, can tell you some of the things. If you go to rural areas, you will find out that they have been fed up with words that you cannot describe it. Now, what is the way forward? We don't need to start moving around trying to protect interests of the government or this thing. If you go to some of these developed states, like, they will help the NGOs to function, empower them, send them to rural areas, as in make sure that they are functionable. You are talking about seeing some of these dignitaries outside. They will relate to you, but when they come in here, they pretend as if they don't know what is happening. Fine. Now, why is it like that? They don't want you to know that some funds are being released for you to function. Now, let me go to security aspect of it. You will find out that one of the problems we are having and the challenges we are having is the security architecture. What they want is their pocket. If you commit offense, they themselves, they will be the one to discourage you, not to facilitate, not to follow up. I'm a security correspondent. So many times I have been opportune to follow up a case. At a point, what the security man was asking me, is it your case? Do you want to involve yourself in what, that doesn't matter, that doesn't concern you? That is the problem. You will find out that a man will be sleeping with the stepdaughter, when you report it to our security agencies. They will collect the money and they tell you that see, we need to get these things right. If we don't get it right, it will affect us. And all these things we are saying here we are just trying to bear our minds. But when we go deep down, we will find out the truth and know how to follow it up.
As NGOs, as CSOs, we have to pay more attention to fundraising, the issue of grant application. We have to, if we must, do it the way they are doing it in Lagos, do it the way they are doing it in Abuja. We have to take the issue of grant application seriously.
My own is based on security now. I know that NGO have a kind of affiliation with human rights. So you will also be concerned with your security. There are some cases that you pursue as an NGO, your life is also in danger. Yes. So I want to ask, are there things in place to secure the lives of these people that will be fighting for the less privileged? That's one. And then for NGOs, yes, I know that most, as a case you will see, you know that if you further this case, your life is in danger. So are you going to retract because of your life is in danger, or what are the measures that can actually make you succeed in going further in that case? That's one. And then I also have a question for the lawyer. Are there funds attached to it? So if I have a case, if I have someone that's been assaulted, I come to you, is it all free?
Well, free in the sense that processes, transportation.
Sometimes that processes, they just pay processes. As the case takes 10 years, I'm still
the matter for trial. The person can fund the processes, the filing and the service
And this also have any.
But when if trial starts and we go to court, you have to pay our transport, but we don't charge legal fees.
Something happened last year. A child was, I think the girl was about 9 years. She was sexually assaulted by her uncle. So someone wrote about it on Facebook, and I know the family. So I reached out to the guy. After talking to him, I told him I want to meet with the family and the girl in the victim. So when we got there, the girl narrated everything that happened. And fortunately for us, the family members were not around. Then the second day we went there again, we saw the mother. The mother was now like, that is a family matter, that we should go, that they've settled it already, that no, this girl she has narrated everything that actually happened. So I reached out to a police officer. The man said he cannot do anything so long as the victim, the family, see the victim not to say anything. But we were persistent. We went again. They were trying also. So I'm now asking, what is your legal stand like? Was there something I would have done better to make sure maybe that issue was, justice was served and all of that?
Always some families in Lagos, because they've heard so much about abuse, they will be the ones to report to you that my child was abused. And now in Lagos, they have a private court where they have family court. I don't know, I'm sure you have it here. You have here. They have family courts where they hear cases of minors. So because parents know that there's a place like that, they are speaking up. But it still happens, and all politics perhaps always the case. How is it your problem? But from because it's not between you and them, it's between them and the state, isn't it? So it's a state case.
Our organization is Gender Breast Health Foundation. We are into gender issues and women inclusiveness in leadership.
For Yellow Care Foundation for Women and Youth, we are domiciled in about 30 Park Road precisely. And we, like the name implies, women and youth. We are very particular about women and youth. The case of an 18-year-old girl married to a 75-year-old man. Simply because the girl was a victim of teenage pregnancy. As a gestational student, the parents pushed her into that marriage so as to save them the shame of having a child who has gotten pregnant. I went to the root of it. Stop the marriage, make the parents to take back the child. And to the glory of God, the girl is a graduate of accountancy today.
I'm Mary Jude Mpamugu. I work with NAPTIP. We all know what NAPTIP do. But the recent cases I handled about last month, a girl of 25 years, she was pregnant, nobody to own the pregnancy. So there's this man, 65 years. He heard of it. He now says, since he doesn't have a male child, he wants the pregnancy, and they introduced him to this family. So the woman convinced this girl to accept so that the child should have a home. So the girl, seeing the man old, but she just agreed because of her mom. So after the birth, they started treating the girl anyhow. They were just after the child. So after 3 weeks, I don't know what happened, they pushed this girl out, collect this baby. So at the end of the day, we were able to invite them, we rescued the child, the 3 years, not 3 months, or 3 weeks. They pushed this girl out when the child was 2 weeks. So by the time we get the child was 3 weeks. So we were able to unite this baby back to the mother.
CSOs Godwin Chioma. I'm from Civil Defense. We do more of rescue, arrest, referrals, then counseling, the one we can. The ones we cannot, we refer to other agencies. At times, Women Affairs refer cases to us, cases that they feel they cannot handle, maybe because of the nature of the case. So we do help them to settle it the way we can. The ones that we cannot, that needs maybe going to court, we still assist the person. We also take them to hospital if needs be. Maybe somebody that is violated, or somebody that has been harmed by maybe a partner. We take them to hospital, make sure that they are treated.
Chinenye Atuma Esquire. I'm representing
Mrs. Akudo Amanamba Esquire. FIDA specializes in promoting, protecting, and preserving the rights of women and children. It provides legal education in laws and legislation affecting women and children. FIDA also provides alternative dispute resolution mechanisms for marital conflicts. We also offer free legal services to women and children.
Ronald Wambu. I'm a social worker and a state actor on gender-based violence. We deal with family case works, and that's the basis of this violence, mostly the gender aspect of it. Presently now what we are having is what we call economical aspect of the violence, generally in the families. We are the primary level where parents can come. Any of the 17 local governments in Abia State, 774 local governments in Nigeria, has a welfare office you can easily access.
My name is Philip David. I'm with Behind Bars Human Rights Foundation. We deal on sexual assaults, physical violence, and psychological, also verbal. An example of what we do is the case, I believe, that's all over the internet, most of us must have heard of, the issue of the girls that went missing. Their FIBA and Celine, yes, we are the ones on that case. So what we do is we receive reports, we investigate, we rescue, and we report.
Udike Amarachi. I'm representing Foundation for Environmental of Rights, Advocacy and Development. Our aim is to advance the currency of human rights and also to promote the fulfillment of socio-economic rights by vulnerable women and girls, and also to assist the poor and the marginalized women.
Sarah Osondo, representing Initiative for Women Empowerment and Development. Our NGO supports and empowers women living in rural developments. We assist them, like the farmers, we assist them, we supply them fertilizers and insecticides, which will help them to grow their crops. Because most of these women, you know what the economy is talking about now, everybody is managing. So most of them even find it difficult, even in the farm. So we assist the women. We also support the rights and privileges of women. Most cases, as in most women who are married, when they have nothing to do in the house, maybe they are not doing anything, you see their husband abusing them, even the in-laws insulting and abusing them. So these women, when they cry out to us, we reach out to them, we organize seminars for them, we develop them, making them to know that they have values for themselves, they can stand up for themselves. So we give them knowledge, we give them value by creating job opportunities, like we give them skills like skill acquisition. Most of them learn tailoring, catering, and many other things. Then lastly, we also support the growth and development of community members through wealth creation and capacity building.
Abiodun Adegoke, and I'm from City Hub, Innovation Hub for Inclusiveness, Empowerment and Social Development. Is a women-based and youth-led organization, and it focuses on improving the life of people in an undeserved communities through advancement in health care, empowerment programs, and carrying out advocacy and outreaches. Our programs include Youth Engaged Policy Lab, whereby we train and mentor youth within the age of 18 to 35 years on the matter that has to do with policy and governance to make effective decisions. We also have education on online training, online space for women and for children. Recently, we inaugurated safety clubs in schools in order to help these ones to navigate the online space safely and positively, because we understood the fact that many of them are actually using this social space negatively. So we inaugurated clubs in schools in Humaya here to be able to help them to navigate the online space safely. And also we believe in empowerment programs. Currently, we are carrying out an empowerment programs for women in 2 communities in Ariam and Oloko to empower these people concerning the matters of gender-based violence and to give them proper training.
Ms. Shamakamada, God bless, and I'm from Greater Women Initiative for Health and Rights. It's a sex worker-led organization that is committed in supporting and empowering sex workers. We also advocate for their rights through legal advocacies, and we advocate for their inclusion for both social and economic opportunities in the society. We have 3 offices. We have one here in Abia State, one in Akwa Ibom, and in Port Harcourt. So at Akwa Ibom, we have a safe house for those that need rehabilitation. We have a safe house for them. And we also empower sex workers to skill acquisition. We empower them on the skills they want to acquire.
Thank you so much from Ajoke Arisat Afolabi Foundation. Our foundation is actually into women and girls empowerment. To alleviate poverty, we actually carry this out through vocational skill acquisition projects. We are carrying out projects on training teenage mothers on skill acquisition, specifically on knitting. We're also into agriculture, where we empower rural women farmers, especially widows, in their agricultural system to improve them by supplying them with, just like my sister NGO said, fertilizers, cassava stem, and the rest of them, just to seedlings, yes, just to improve their agricultural inputs and output too. We're also into school sensitizations on the dangers of drug abuse, sex education, and also gender-based violence.
Actually, as the name sounds, initiative for care and support to the less privileged. Our focus target is the less privileged, the orphans and vulnerable children, and the women. We protect the rights of women, mainly the girl child. And the organization is into child development, the holistic of child development. We give protection, we give shelter, we supply food, we did referrals. In fact, we ensure that there is a justice for any child that is being abused.
Obinna Nwabara is my name. I work with Youth and Students Advocates for Development Initiative, YSAD. Our office is in Aba. YSAD is focused on advocacy. We do awareness raising and capacity building for young people, especially in the area of participation, in the area of safety consciousness. As somebody of 25 years old being married to somebody of 70, means that at that foundational level, those awareness they weren't there. So these are the things we do: sensitization, capacity building around these issues.
Chimeche Flanwan Norma John, and I'm here with my colleague. We are from Prawa, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action. December this year will be turning 30. We have offices in Lagos, Abuja, Enugu, Abia, and Kano. For that of security and justice reforms, if you check, it's no longer prison services, it's called Correctional Service of Nigeria. We're actually the ones that advocated for that law to be signed in 2019. And we do more of training for police officers, paramilitary, when it comes to regards to human rights. Then that of social development comes with dealing with victims of torture. The recent project we are handling now is cut across Southeast, where we are able to identify people that has survived torture, people that their rights are violated. You take their land, you mine oil, and you don't give back to the society. So we also employ the help of partners like the Human Rights, the Correctional Service of Nigeria. We also did projects that has to do with checking children that are in prison, that's young adults, people that are not meant to be where they are. That project was done with UNICEF. There's a whole lot.
My name is Azuma Agnes. Like what my colleague have already said, I want to talk about our rehabilitation. So I'm a counselor also. So you see these survivors, we don't only support them, we counsel them, we follow them up. Do you understand? Even those that come out from the correctional service, there's one project we normally do. September, we call it Yellow Ribbon, unlocking the second prison. You know that when they come out, there is this stigma that comes with it. People don't want to mingle with them. People don't want to do anything with them. So we try to sensitize the society. Don't put them into the second prison again. Just accept them back to the society. If you have work, give them. If you have business, do with them. They are not a changed person. It's no longer prison again. It's now correction.
My name is Ogbika Amarachi Lois. I'm from Unique Real Sisters, Lead for Deprived Women and Girls. We are FSW-based organization. Currently, we're implementing a project with Caritas Nigeria called an Access Project. What we do, we are into capacity building. We improve the sexual and reproductive health and rights of vulnerable women and girls, irrespective of their social statuses. We sensitize them as well. We provide comprehensive health and STIs prevention. We visit brothels. We are into advocacy as well. We engage them in HIV preventive measures. We get them tested. Anyone found, we get them linked to our one-stop shop, that is our OSS, for their treatments, where they have been taken care of by free. So, and we help them overcome stigma and discrimination.
I'm Ngozi Nwosu-Juba. I work with the Virtuous Development Initiative. PD is a women-led organization focused on women, children, and girls, because we actually have to separate. The laws that guide girls are different most of the time. We do a lot of sensitization, capacity building, because we believe that education corrects a lot of things. Education can prevent a lot of things. So we do advocacy, we carry out education, we respond to cases, we refer, we partner with almost all the agencies here to make it work, and we follow up with the survivors. Permit me to call some of them victims, because some actually are the victims, like they are still victims. And we try to train them, empower them, and we also look at the environment. These days, we focus more on the young ones, the children, because we realize that if we are talking about environment, for instance, catching them young is the key thing. So we take out time to get to schools, to carry out sensitization, educate the young people on sexual and reproductive rights, health, environment, and everything. I'll just say we do everything that concerns the rights of women, girls, and children. And of course, our second name, let's say our first name, is Ending GBV.
Chikali, from Only Chikali Girl Child Foundation. Our organization is gender-based, and our focus and target is on young girls, most especially adolescents. I grew up in an environment where I was never taught sex education, but rather adults around me told me how sweet sex could be at the age of 9 and 10. So what we are trying to do at Olichikal Girl Child Foundation is to get these girls sensitized on time, to let them know that premarital sex at that age is nothing to write home about. Rather, it will destroy you. We just did a sensitization on menstrual health to make sure that no girl go through what I went through growing up.
Agnes Okafor-Korafia, the State President of National Council for Women's Societies. We do more of advocacy and sensitization. We promote the economic and social welfare and progress of women, youths, people living with disabilities, and children, with special emphasis on training, health education, and skill acquisition. We made them understand that the era of women ending up in the kitchen is gone, that they should, even if you did not go to school, because some families cannot train their children through school. But they should, at least as a woman or a girl, that you should acquire a skill that can help you scale through in life. We encourage women to realize their responsibilities in their communities and nation at large.
I'm Ms. Mary Jane Akomas from Moral Integrity Network, that's MINETS. Well, in MINETS, we're focused on sensitization, rendering help to the less privileged and the vulnerable. We also attract scholarship to children from rural areas. We're also into guidance and counseling of younger children and including adults, women especially. We're more focused on women and children.
Representing the director of PEP. So, Public Enlightenment Project is a non-governmental organization focused on empowering women and children and girls, young girls, the lesser gender, on sensitization in governance, business, and also health-wise. We also do women empowerment, and that's registering of businesses and CSOs, giving us soft loans to women that are eager to start businesses in order to make them have one or two things going through for them. So I think in the year under review, so far we have reached out to over 5,000 lives, women and children, excluding the men.
Mrs. Orieji Oka. I work with Nuki, Sharing Hope. We believe in hear something, say something. We do a lot of psychosocial support for the elderly, for women, for children, in fact, the vulnerable. We do a lot of life skills training for young people. Most of these young people are into drugs, into prostitution and all that because they don't have some of these skills. So we pass that